want to just let everyone know again, I want to reiterate what we said earlier, that in terms of air quality for people that live in the community or traveling through the community, it is completely safe. The waterways have not been affected, and that is completely safe to drink the water and breathe the air. So I want to make sure everyone knows that we are safe in terms of that right now.
And what's the latest with the cleanup here, and any more with the investigation that you know of?
All ongoing right now. We don't have a lot of information. We're gathering that all, so we won't have that for some time.
What are we seeing here? Is that parts of the truck?
You're seeing the tanker that had exploded.
Any updates on the 3 people that were injured? I know one was still being evaluated when we last talked.
From the last report I had, that they're all going to be okay. So that's the positive news. Obviously, we want to hear that everyone's going to be all right, and I'm very thankful to hear that.
As far as when you're anticipating little things like these cars I see covered with all sorts of debris, when do you think that cars, the inside of this facility, will be able to be used again?
That could be quite some time. Again, it's kind of a crapshoot at this point. We don't know until they get into it, start investigating it, cleaning it up. There's a process that goes along with all that through the EPA and the cleanup people, so we don't really have that estimation right now, but I'm sure we'll know that in the coming days.
Do you know when the road will be back open? Any estimate?
The road will probably be back open here within a few hours, I would think.
So today?
Yes, today.
Are these cars here because if people left them, or they can't drive them because of the chemical?
They cannot drive those vehicles right now. That was in the blast zone. That chemical that's on those vehicles, we don't want anyone touching that. Part of the cleanup will be getting that material off of those vehicles.
You mentioned that we've been told a couple of times to stay out of the grass. Does that mean that there's still this chemical component even in the grass, this surrounding area?
That's kind of the blast zone. You can see the discoloration in it. So yeah, we don't want to touch that.
As far as the creek, I know that you were bringing in these big trucks. It looked like they were filled with dirt. Was that part of trying to hold that contamination in one area?
Yeah, the dirt's to keep the contaminants contained in that area so it didn't spread any further. It is not in the waterways. I want to say that very clearly. It is not in the waterways.
Okay. Chief, did you have any update?
No, not really. Mayor pretty much covered it. A Vital Serve's been contracted by the company to do all the cleanup. The plan has been approved by the EPA, and it will take at least a week to get everything cleaned up. The grass you mentioned earlier, that all that soil will be excavated and disposed of as hazardous waste. Right now it's safe. No firefighters, no first responders are injured, just the initial 3, which is always a good thing. And we're moving forward, and the investigation will continue.
And this company won't be open for a week? They won't be able to open for a week?
I can't say they won't be open for a week. This part of the operation, that part of the building will not be usable for approximately a week.
We're seeing this explosion up close for the first time today. You mentioned just how far into the building it goes. Just describe a little bit the scene going into the building for us.
At the time of the catastrophic failure of the tanker, what you don't see of the tanker, the remaining parts of it are in the building approximately 10 feet from the south wall. So, guesstimating 60, 70 feet it traveled from the force of the explosion.
When you're working on something like this, obviously you think firefighters, you think fires, right? But you guys obviously respond to all sorts of calls. So when you're responding to something like this where you're in hazmat gear, you're having to clean up, make sure people aren't getting burned, just describe some of the challenges that your firefighters were contending with today.
Well, there was no fire. It was an explosion, but there was no flame, as you would think of fire. Initially, you don't know what it is. And, different chemicals, different reactions. That's our first challenge we have to overcome. Summit County Hazmat was here. They got here quickly, and they're the ones that took over analyzing, checking vehicles, and we really just secured the scene and cared for the injured.
Did you say that it went in, that part of the truck went into the building and went in right there?
Yes. Went right in the dock door. If you go further north, you'll see that it was right in front of a dock door, and it went through that door and into the building.
So we're only seeing like a third of
Correct.
That truck?
Correct. The rest of that trailer is inside the building.
One thing I was still kind of confused on, could you explain, I know the 3 trucks were side by side, but where the 3 people were injured in proximity to the 3 trucks when it
The one was the driver of the vehicle. He sensed it was coming and got to the front of it. He had minor injuries. The most severe injured was the driver of the vehicle next to it. And he got sprayed with products, so he sustained burns. And I'm not quite sure where the third one was, but he was an employee of Royal Chemical.
And the other two, were they employees?
No, they were truck drivers.
Pronounce the chemical again.
Sodium hydroxide.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to move up, you can see that doctor.
Where Dr.